Technologies. So this is our website. I hope my screen is up and visible. All right. So I hope you can see my screen. So this is our website. So we are offering a lot of courses here, and we have just recently launched Power BI, but you can see that we have a lot of other courses that are offered by, Raj Cloud Technologies, and this is what we have. If you're interested in any of these courses, you can very well go and look into it and look into those details, and the courses covers, there are detailed information inside this. We would also recommend you to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a very big community there, and we post a lot of videos every single week on this particular forum. So that's something that we want to do. All right, just give me 1 second, everyone. Just hold on. Okay. I'm just trying to get rid of this annotation here. Just give me a second. I don't want that to be done that way. Okay, just hold on. Let me see why am I having this annotation here. All right. Okay, I don't have a way to clear this, but I'm just going to put that to the admin. All right. Yes. So this is our website, and also this is the YouTube link. So just go ahead and subscribe to this. We are posting a lot of videos on the different technologies that we go ahead and cover. So just go ahead and do that. And you can also look at our reviews on Google, and we have a very good review. We offer a lot of courses, and people are really liking these courses. So just go through this and understand how we have this set up, and you can decide based on these things. Okay. But today's session is going to be on Power BI. Let's go and look at what we have to offer in Power BI. So I'm just going to go into the website here. And please don't mind the annotation that I have here. It's just something that someone just did that, and I'm not able to get rid of that. Okay. All right. So in Power BI course, we will be going ahead and learning, first of all, something on the Oracle SQL. Okay. Oracle SQL is going to be a kind of a freebie for you. Okay. So it just is a kind of an bonus that you get with this particular course. And we are going to deep dive into the Power BI course itself, Power BI details itself. And we'll be covering Power BI desktop. Majority of the things we will do is going to be in the desktop. And we'll just go ahead and publish that to Power BI service. That's how things work. And we'll talk more about those different details that we have inside, the desktop version as well as the service side of it. Okay. Now, if I were to just introduce you to this particular course, and if I were to go ahead and let you know what we have here, the course features that we have is, now this particular course has been curated and been created by me, and you have this aligned to the industries, and that's what we have. All right. And we will be going in and learning a lot of things from a real-time perspective. We have 3 to 4 projects coming in at the end of this particular course. That's what we will do. And we'll be going from the basics to advanced. Okay, so it's just not a course on a basic level. No, we are going to go from a basic to advanced level. And we have a lot of things to do. We will go and talk about data modeling. We'll go and understand and master tax expressions. We will go and work with a lot of dashboards and visualizations, and we'll understand what is the right thing to do and how to project your information properly. Okay, so that's what we will go and learn here. And like I said, we will be talking about real-time projects, and we'll go ahead and work on a lot of different details on the security, as well as, the Power BI service side of things. So when I say Power BI service, it's all about the server where we go and publish our reports, and we'll work with that. Okay. So that's what we have. And like I said, what you're going to learn in this particular course is, first of all, Oracle SQL. That's kind of a freebie given to you. That's what I would say. And our focus is going to be mainly on the Power BI course itself. Okay. Now, you may ask a question, should I really go and understand and have knowledge on SQL or not? Okay. Is it a prerequisite? And what are the prerequisites here? So let's go ahead and understand that. I would say a basic knowledge in Excel is very much mandatory. All right. And we want to go ahead and have a little bit of knowledge on SQL. Okay. Now imagine this. Imagine, businesses like Amazon, an e-commerce website, Uber or Ola, managing their day-to-day data in an Excel file. Okay. So Excel is not going to be a feasible option for all of these businesses. So they will definitely go and use a database. All right. So they will definitely have a database. And in order to go and understand, how you want to go and get to that data, query the data and bring that data or details out, you need to learn and you need to understand SQL. Okay. So we would have some prerequisites here, and SQL is going to be one of them. Basic understanding of Excel is going to be, again, very, very important. So that's something that you'll learn. So this is important for you to go through, because if you're not really mastering these skills, then, on the industry level, there is definitely going to be some sort of a issue. So you won't be able to go and, kind of work in an industry level forum. So that's what we want to go and understand. All right. So yes, those are all the important details, and we'll just deep dive into this particular tool and the course here. Let's see. Just one thing before I move on, I wanted to show you where do we stand with Microsoft Power BI. Okay. So Microsoft Power BI is the leader in the BI space today. Okay. And I have something called as Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Okay. And Gartner is a company that goes and, looks at a variety of different tools, and they go and kind of they put it into these four quadrants that we have. We have leaders, we have visionaries, niche players, and challengers. Now I can see that Microsoft is clearly a leader. Okay. And it is far away from all the different other competitors like Tableau. Tableau is, again, a very good, data visualization tools. You have other things like Click. Click is the third software, which is, topping the charts right here. And we have other things as well, ThoughtSpot, Oracle, Google, all of them in that leader space. But Microsoft is far away, and it has its own edge with respect to the technologies. It has its own, essence, as well as the power that Power BI has is immense when compared to anything that we have here. Okay. So you are learning one of the best tools in the market right now. There is a great, job offers available for Microsoft Power BI and the developers working in Power BI. And we have, huge demand for Power BI for sure. And every single organization is just kind of migrating towards Microsoft Power BI. So, they may have something like Tableau, they may have some products like Click, but they are migrating to the Microsoft tool, and that's how they are doing it. So this is one of the most in-demand tools right now in the market, and that's what we have. We have all of this, coming in this fashion. All right. So you are learning one of the best tools, so don't hesitate. You should be able to go and, be able to go and learn this quickly. And it's a very simple software. You don't have to really stress much. I would say this is even simpler than Excel. Okay. So if you have gone ahead and typed a few calculations, few formulas in Excel, I would say this is much easier than that. It's a drag and drop report builder. I'll show you that in a while. We'll go into that particular details in a while, but that's what we have. Okay. All right. You can feel free to put your questions on the chat box. You can do that. Or you can just try to unmute yourself and you can talk to me. Okay. Any relevant questions, I would take that up immediately. Otherwise, I'll just reserve that for some later point in time. All right. So yes, feel free to go ahead and put those details on the chat, and we'll get started. Any questions, anyone?
Yeah, please, can you get a job with only Power BI knowledge alone?
Say that again, please. I'm sorry.
Can you get a job with only Power BI knowledge, like by knowing Power BI alone? Is it enough to get a job?
I would say Power BI plus Excel, if you have a basic understanding of Excel, that should be more than enough. But as you get into an industry, SQL knowledge is must. So I would say, that is mandatory. So you have to eventually learn it for sure. But yes, with Power BI and a little bit of a knowledge in Excel, because you need to do some analysis before you work on Power BI itself. So that kind of a knowledge is required. I would say yes, but that's just a 50-50 chance of, getting into that particular organization. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah. How much
Yeah.
percentage of
So,
Excel be required to learn apart from Power BI?
any questions? I see some, or I hear some
I mean,
voices.
like how much percentage of Excel we need to learn? Is it a 50-50 or
See, it's
what is
not too much of an Excel again. It's just some basic formulas because you see, let's say you have a small table, you have some data in the Excel, and if you are, able to go and analyze a few things, say, for example, look up the data from a different table, map it to this table. So if you have some functions like VLOOKUP and other things that you learn, those are basic Excel stuff that I'm talking about. You don't have to really go into too much of Excel. All right. If you just understand how to work with some simple formulas, calculations, VLOOKUP is more than enough. Again, not too much into Excel. You can very well learn and master Power BI. That's more than enough. Okay. I'm just giving you Excel as an option because when you are not good with SQL, the Excel would be the only option for you. Okay. And if you don't have Excel knowledge as well, then it's going to be very difficult. That's why I'm just
just like if we are good at SQL and anyway we are going to learn Power BI, right? So that would be enough, right, to get placed.
Yes, see, this is not like this is not like a SQL tool. Okay, this is completely different. We are going to work with our data. Only the connection part is where you'll start using SQL. But if you have an SQL knowledge, if you're good at it, then there is no stopping you. Okay, so you have a good, nice foundation, and you will be able to go and get the job very easily. So SQL plus Power BI is a great combination. But if you don't have SQL knowledge, then I would say Excel plus SQL plus Power BI is what I go and recommend here. All right.
Got it.
Is there any part you're going to teach us SQL to complete it?
I would say SQL in the sense Microsoft SQL or Oracle, SQL. So that should be good enough. You just have to learn the foundation aspects of it. And it's more like even I wouldn't really recommend you to go into too much of a detail. You don't have to.
Hi.
Yes, yes.
So I've done Microsoft Power BI data analyst certification, and
Mhm.
I have basic knowledge of SQL and Excel. But when I look for opportunities, they ask me, "Do you know Python or R scripting?" So
Mhm.
that's where I am lacking, and I don't get a job. So can
Okay.
you means tell me how can I succeed in this?
Okay, so for a data analyst, these are going to be the mandatory tools to learn, but you don't have to learn them at all. Okay, so let's say Python, okay, and then we have R, and then let's do Power BI, okay, Excel and SQL, okay. So see what happens is a lot of organizations just focus on these three tools: Power BI, Excel, and SQL. Now, I know that a lot of organizations today are also asking about Python or R, one of them. And I would say, you don't really have to learn Python or R. You just have to focus on these three tools, which is Power BI, Excel, and SQL. That's more than enough. There may be some job opportunities available where you may be required to learn or where you need to have the skills on Python and R. I would say you can just ignore it. There are other opportunities where only SQL and Power BI will be required. So you can look for that. You don't have to really learn all of that, but all of these tools are really going to help a data analyst manipulate the data. And we want to go and eventually you have to learn all of this. But I would say getting a start on these three tools, that should be more than enough: Python, Excel, SQL. That's more than enough. You will definitely get a job around this particular technologies. You don't have to really look for Python and R based roles at all. Okay, so yeah, ignore those job opportunities. Like I said, this is the leader in the market right now. We have so many openings, so you don't have to really bother about missing one or two. So that should be just okay, I would say. But yes, learning them would be good enough. And any data analyst should need all of these different tools for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Actually, they provide only entry level jobs like a very low package if we go with Power BI, Excel, and SQL. So that's means if I crack it also, they offer very low packages. So it's just an entry level package.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, if you're really looking for those jobs, yes, you'll have to kind of, look for those tools as well, add that to your resume, learn more about them, and that's how you can crack those interviews. So I wouldn't really recommend doing that right away, but you can slowly add that. As I said, you don't really have to do that. See, it's not like, you are going to use all of these technologies, learn all of these technologies, and then go and look for a job. That's going to be very difficult. Whatever you get for now, you can just get into that and slowly slide sidewise, prepare those other details and then switch jobs. That's what I would say. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, just get started with that. That's what we want. And not every organization is using this in extensive fashion. Python and R, they're not using it in an extensive fashion. They just would use it like 10 or 15 percentage of their entire work. It's just about manipulating your data and getting that into Power BI. So a lot of things goes on in Power BI environment, not in Python or R. That's how you want to look at it. So if you even have a basic understanding, you can go for that. Okay. Just go for the interview, attend those interviews, understand how these questions are coming in, and you can crack the next few interviews if you have those on Python and R. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
one quick question. Is this training is useful for certification level?
Yes, so our courses and our, the course curriculum is designed and aligned with our certification training. Okay.
So
So if you,
like a
yes.
basic level certification, we have different types of certifications in Power BI, like data analyst, data engineer, like that, which certification is useful for
Yes, so
while taking this?
this should be good enough for you to take up PL 300 post this training. That's one of the major, Power BI related certification that you have. Others would just be, some add-ons, and then it will be just a kind of a bigger package that relates you to Excel and data analyst and other things. But I would say this course is more aligned with PL 300.
Yes, 300.
Yeah,
Okay, is it enough, right? At this much of
that's more than enough. Yes, that's more than enough. Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you.
DAX
Yes.
is a different or a combination of Power BI?
DAX, you're asking, is it?
Yes, yes.
DAX is going to be a way in which you will go and, kind of write some formulas and extract something that you need out of your data. Okay. For example, let's say you are bringing in a sales data and you have columns like, profit and sales coming in, and you need to compute something called as profit percentage. I'm just giving you an example. Then it's nothing but profit divided by sales. Okay. So DAX is nothing but a formula language in Power BI. You need to know that for sure. You cannot escape DAX and you cannot work without DAX. You have to know that for sure. And that's an easy language to learn. Don't worry about it. It's a very simple language to learn. Okay. It's just
Okay,
like if you have done this in Excel, if you have just gone and written a few simple formulas, sum of A1 to A4 in Excel, this is DAX. Okay. Knowingly or unknowingly, you have just been using DAX. So we would just use this in a different fashion in our, Power BI level. That's it. Yes. Okay. We'll
okay.
just pause here. I mean, I'll take the questions in a while. Let me just go through this. Do you really guys want to see how Power BI works? What's the power of Power BI, or should I just take questions? Just let me know. Do you really want me to go with a demo? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a question, Ambarishan.
Yes. Yes, please.
So, is Power BI highly recommendable for a Scrum Master role? Is it helpful on the role for Scrum Master?
So Scrum Masters, if you're preparing these reports and if your organization is extensively using and switching or pivoting towards Power BI, I would say it's a good add-on. Okay, I'm just saying that it's an add-on. I wouldn't really, recommend that way. But let's say this is a free tool. And what's happening with Microsoft ecosystem today is that you'll be able to integrate and you can just go and share and collaborate with your team members very easily with your, Microsoft ecosystem. So it's a great add-on if you have it, and if you can project those reports and details with Power BI, that would be great. Otherwise, I wouldn't really say it is
And
recommended
for
or
a
required.
business analyst?
Business analyst, it's a very good thing to have. Okay. And again, I mean, I wouldn't really, business analyst is more oriented or kind of, aligned towards getting the business requirement and all of that. I would say if you are a data analyst, you're working on data, you want to go ahead and project that out, then Power BI would be much suitable. Business analyst, I would say 10 to 20%. Yes, they can use it, but not too much into Power BI.
It depends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
correct. Yep. All right, so let me just quickly jump into the tool itself. I'll show you how the tool looks like. How do you go ahead and work with this tool? And I'll take up these questions for sure. I'll answer all of your questions before we wrap up this session. But let me show you how Power BI looks, and we want to work on that. Okay, so that's what we want to do. All right, so let me just come out of this slide and let me open Power BI here. Okay. So if you see this, Power BI desktop is a app. It's a software that you install, and that's a free software for you to go and use. You can install that as well. If you want to install Power BI, you can go to Microsoft Store, I would say. Okay. Let me just do this one more time. So you can just go to Microsoft Store, and what you can do with that is you can just search for Power BI. Okay. And look for Power BI Desktop, get that installed. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Look for Power BI Desktop, get that installed, and that should be good enough. Okay, it's a free software that is offered by Microsoft, and you can just download and install it. And this is free for lifetime. Okay, you don't have to pay for this. This is free. When you share and collaborate, when you want to share this report with someone else, then that's where the problem is. Okay, because that's where the subscription model comes in. You have to pay for that particular detail and so on and so forth. Okay. All right, bear with me on this one, guys. There is some annotation. I'm not able to go and get that, removed. So just hold on. Okay. All right. So what you do with the Power BI Desktop is you create reports. All right. And everything that you do inside Power BI is going to be a report. All right. So I'll just go click on this and we'll get started with the report. And let me just give you a small and a quick tour of this environment, and then we will go ahead and load the data into Power BI and we'll work with this information. Okay. So the way things work is whenever you want to do some visualizations, whenever you want to come out with an insight, you have to connect to the data set, right? So this tool is called as a data visualization tool, and visualization without data is not possible. So what I'm trying to tell you here is the first thing that you have to do is to go and get the data. Just go and get the data. It can lie in variety of different data sources. It can lie as an Excel file, as a SQL file, or anything of that sort. So you're just going to bring the data into Power BI. Now, once you bring the data into Power BI, it comes and sits here in this data pane, and you should be able to go ahead and get the data here, and it will be a table, and then the column names, another table, and few column names here. That's how this is going to be. All right. So once you have the data, you will start working on visualizations. You can go ahead and drag and drop that visualizations here on this particular page. This is our canvas where we go ahead and build our reports, and you should be able to build those reports. Okay. Now, it's not that easy that you just go ahead and click on a button, you get the data into Power BI, and you start visualizing this information. The data is not going to be clean. Okay. The data is never going to be clean. So you have to go ahead and clean your data. You want to go ahead and make sure that it's in the right shape and right format so that you can start utilizing visualizations and then build your report. So what we do is as we progress through the loading process of the data set, we would like to go ahead and do some transformation to that. Okay, that's where something called as Spark Query Editor comes into picture. Okay, we'll deep dive into those details when we go through this course itself. So you are going to go transform the data, cleanse your data, I would say shape your data, and then load it into Power BI. Okay, so all those activities happen, and there are a lot of other things that you go and work on. But I'm just giving a glimpse of how things goes on inside Power BI. Okay, it's a very simple tool. You don't have to really stress much. It's a very simple tool, but you have to just make sure that you're doing it in the right fashion. So if you just start off with visualizations right away, and if your data is not clean, okay, there is a saying, if you feed junk to the tool, it is going to give you junk out. Okay, so you have to make sure that your tool and your data is all good until and unless you have your data that clean, it's not going to give you those details. All right, great. So yes, we use those visualization, and that's just the basic set of visualization. You can get more visualization from that three dots there. You can just go and click on that, and it offers you a variety of different options to go and bring some visuals and add it to this particular file and then start using it. Okay, we'll look into that in detail when we go through our actual course. All right. One of the other important things that goes on here is these three icons. These three icons is where you'll be spending a lot of time in this tool. So the first one, and you're actually looking at it, that's called as a report view. Okay. So what you see here is a report view, and that's where we will go and start building our reports. I'll show you a few reports that we have built. You'll be able to understand what we have done. Okay. And then the second icon that you see is going to be a table view. Okay, so if you want to go and understand how is your data coming up, how do you have your data after it is loaded into Power BI, all of that can be seen from table view. Okay, I'll go ahead and show you this in a while. I'll just load some data. I'll show you this in a while. As of now, it's going to be empty, but as I progress, you will know how this table view is all set up. Okay, the third view that we would be using mostly, and there is one more icon for sure. Yes, I'll get to that. But the third view that I'll be using and we will be using mostly is going to be this view that's called as a model view. All right. So these are the three views that we have. And once you have a mastery over these three views, it's very simple, very easy. You'll be toggling between this a lot and you'll be working with this a lot. That's what we have. And once you have the master of this views, then you are able to go and work with your Power BI files and the data seamlessly. That's what is the idea. Okay. Now this fourth icon was just recently added. It's just, was recently added to this particular software. And this is called as DAX query view. And this is for advanced users. You don't really have to go and, work on it. Like I said, this was just recently added. It was a separate tool altogether where we run DAX queries. DAX queries are different from whatever DAX we have just spoken about. Okay, someone asking about DAX. Those were DAX formulas, some functions and operators that we put together to write some formula. That's a different thing. Queries are different. Okay, so we run queries here, DAX queries here. And that's kind of an advanced ways of working. We are not going to look into it. So all that we will cover is going to be the, report view, table view, and model view. And that's the only views that you have to go into and do something so that you can make better reports in Power BI. Okay. All right. That's what I have. So this is just a kind of a glimpse of how the tool is all set up. And what I'll do is I'll just show you the data set and we'll go move forward. Yes. Someone has raised the hand. Any questions, anyone? Yeah, feel free to.
Yes, actually,
Yes.
I have a query actually.
Mhm.
Like I'm working into Salesforce and I'm planning to but I'm into the admin side, so I'm planning to move to Power BI. I just want to I'm exploring the Power BI actually. So I just want to know we have also the same concept of data set and all. Okay, where we used to create a report that is called Einstein Analytics. So what is the difference? And I have one more query. Do I need to write any kind of code for this, or it's only kind of SQL or SQL query I just have to do in the later part, suppose in the project or whatever in the next?
Okay, so you said you are working on Tableau, is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Earlier it was Tableau, now it's Excel by them. Yeah.
Okay, so if you look at the list of data sources that Power BI can connect to, it's a huge list of data sources that we have here. Okay, and when I say SQL, it's just one of the ways in which we talk to the database. You may have SQL database or any basic SQL based database available in your organization that you connect to. So the connection part is alone where we would use SQL. We will not be using anything apart from that, any other coding languages inside Power BI. Okay, it's all drag and drop. It's all going to be a UI based report builder. You don't have to do anything much. The only part where you will go do this is, let's say, for example, I'm trying to connect to SQL Server. I'll just do connect here. Okay. And then this is where you probably may want to go and insert your SQL statement. Let's say you're bringing things from your views store procedures. You can execute the store procedures directly here and bring those details. So that's how we work with that particular SQL statement. But once you have the data, I can show you that as well. Maybe probably I'll connect to a SQL server and I'll show you that. So once you have the data and the tables loaded into Power BI, you don't have to really work on any queries. All right.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but there is something called as an M query. So if you go to transform data, this is a different environment altogether, Power Query Editor. And as you load the data here, you'll see some codes or lines of codes coming up. And again, what I'm saying is that's called as an M code or M query. And you don't have to learn that. We are only focusing on DAX here, which is just a formula language. And anything apart from that, any kind of a code, we will not be writing that for sure inside Power BI. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So means in the later part also, yeah, I'm not going to use that, or I don't
No.
have to
No,
write.
you
Right?
won't be using anything. So it's all about just connecting to the data set. If you have a SQL query, let's say you're joining two tables or few tables and then
I
bringing
got
it.
it.
That's
Like
the only part
normalization.
yes, just the initial stage of working with your data. That's it. Yes.
Hey, hi, this is Tanvir here actually. I'm audible.
Mhm. Yes, you're audible. Yeah.
You said that we can write, our query in using DAX, right? So, but there is a
Mhm.
provision also, we can write it through SQL also. So in what situations we'll be using the DAX and what situation we will be using a SQL query? I mean,
Yeah.
both same purpose, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
So,
I'll just kind of highlight you here and kind of differentiate it here. So the DAX part is, let's say, for example, I'm just loading a table. Okay, this is table 1. I've loaded the table, and the DAX comes into picture after you have loaded the table into Power BI. So you will be just utilizing the data model inside Power BI. Okay, so you can have many tables, table 2, table 3, so on and so forth. So anything that got loaded into Power BI is what is available for you to use inside a DAX query. So you are querying those tables, you are understanding whether your formulas, your calculations are working fine or not. How much time is it taking for your calculations to execute and give you the results? So those sort of performance-based calculations and analysis is what you do in DAX query. So DAX comes after you have loaded the data into Power BI. Okay. But SQL queries are going to be your source. You will be pulling the data from your SQL environment. So that's going to be your source. So that is a different thing. So yes, you may be writing those queries. And also similar queries can be written in DAX as well to select the data, to, kind of analyze and modify certain things here and there. But DAX comes after you have loaded the data into Power BI. DAX is very specific to Power BI, and it's not acting as a source, from where you're pulling the data. So it is always after you have loaded the data into Power BI. But SQL and anything that you work with in getting the data is all going to be the initial part of your process. Okay.
So
yeah.
if I ask you to relate DAX with any kind of query, like is it anyhow related to circle query or something like that?
You can relate it with SQL. You can like you do an SQL, select star from table name. You can do that here as well. But it is, like I said, it is going to be based on the data that you have inside Power BI and not on anything else. It's not going to be acting as a source. It's not going to be coming as a source. It is only to analyze your data in Power BI. That's it.
And suppose I'm writing and I'm not able to figure it out, or somewhere the mess is there, then will the ChatGPT help me?
Yeah, ChatGPT. Here you can use ChatGPT, or otherwise we have some good, nice documentation from Power BI. Okay. So if I just go to DAX documentation for Power BI, all right, let me just do that. So what you have is, see, I'm talking about some functions and formulas. That's DAX that we are interested in. Okay, but there is also something called as DAX queries. You see that DAX queries at the end of this. So that is going to help you to kind of write some DAX queries like. There is something like evaluate table. Now, this is like a select star from your table name kind of a, syntax. So this is what we are talking about. And like I said, we would use some, other tools to go ahead and write this. Just look at this. It's very similar to your SQL queries, but it's going to be based on the data that you have inside Power BI. That's the only difference. You're querying the data loaded to Power BI's data model, and it's not a, separate thing altogether. You'll not be using this as a source. Yeah, it's just about evaluating your data. That's it. Okay.
And when you're connecting the database, it's only one time, right? To giving the access, like you said, a store procedure or by anything, like by password and user
Yes, it's
ID,
just
right?
going to
Any
be
kind of
one
credential.
time, and you can refer to any number of tables, any number of times. That's fine.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And is there any kind of call outs or integration, like system? Like I know, like we are bringing the data, so obviously we are doing some integration internally, right? As a architecture base. So do we need to do any kind of out of the box kind of like integration or REST call or something like this in Power BI?
You can do that, and that depends on this data source. Okay, and also some of the data source may use some sort of a third party software and so on and so forth. So yes, based on the data source, you may want to add some more or install some softwares. Okay, that's just going to be like an add-on to your Power BI to just go connect to that data set. But otherwise, I don't think anything is required. You should be able to seamlessly go through these different connectors and connect to your data set. Most of the
Okay.
time it works, but otherwise, yes, maybe a few add-ons required. And your respective connectors will lead you to a documentation page from where you can learn how to install or how to go through that particular process. Yes.
Okay, I have a last query, last but not the least,
Yes,
but
please.
I just want to know like how much CTC a person can expect with having a 7 or 8 year of experience in Power BI?
Yeah, 7 or 8 years experience. I've seen people having about 40, 50 lakhs of CTC. I know personally a few people who are, kind of
Okay.
getting that. All right. And yeah, I mean, see, these days, the people coming out of a college, they do have a very good CTC right from the very first job they have. And I've seen people gaining knowledge on this tool. Plus, I mean, when I'm talking about the person, here, it's more like all the other Microsoft tools is also there in their resume. You have Azure, you have a lot of other technologies, added to that Power BI skill. And that's what I'm talking about. But I would roughly say, 30, 40 lakhs is something where you can earn if you have 7 years of experience in Power BI. So that's a good, nice package as well. Yes.
And suppose after learning we will struggle somewhere, like can we able to reach you for any kind of?
Yes, yes. So when you are enrolling for this course, I'll be giving you my contact details. You have support from Raj Technologies, everyone is here to help you and
Okay,
support you.
okay,
So we'll give you those supports and other things that you require, even after the course is completed. So during the course, after the course, yes, you will have those full support here. Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
So, sorry,
Yeah.
this is the same question on the DAX. So having said that, you loaded the data into the
Mhm.
Power BI, right? And you'll be
Yeah.
firing that DAX query. So,
Mhm.
correct my understanding. So is that, you mean to say that when firing a query on a table which is loaded into the Power BI would be fast as compared to the data which is on the source side? I mean, is that understanding is
Yes, that's correct. Because once you load the data here, Power BI can easily talk to the data set. And we have a concept called as in-memory concepts. We'll deep dive into that when I go through that in our sessions. So this data is going to be lying locally in the machine in your memory. So it's going to be easy for us to go ahead and talk to this data set rather than the source itself. So yes, that would be much faster. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so having said that, so what form the data is available in the Power BI data model?
Okay. Yeah, we don't have a clear-cut structure. Now, if you go to a Tableau tool, if you have come from that background, or Click, for example, they maintain their own, very specific file system or file extension, and you can open that file and you can see what's going on inside that file. But with Power BI, the backbone is going to be SSAS, and you don't really have a kind
Sorry,
of
sorry, come again. What is it? SS? What is it?
SSAS, SQL Server Analysis Services. Okay.
Okay.
So this was one of the Microsoft, if you have heard of this term MSBI. So initially we used to have a suite of products. So, SSAS is one of them. And this is the backbone for Power BI right now. And the way this manages the files or the data is it just goes and stores that as a temporary files in the memory RAM. Okay. And then processes the results. So we don't have a clear cut file that I can open and see how the data is all set up. It's all done behind the scenes by Power BI, and that's what we have. So we can't be specific on certain things. Yes.
It's a part of SQL Server, you mean to say?
No. It is like there were a couple of tools. For example, this is one. SSAS is SQL Server Analysis Services. There was one more called as SQL Server Reporting Services. and one more called as SQL Server Integration Services. These three tools together was called as MSBI. These were the BI tools from Microsoft initially. And the reporting services it's like, Stone Age, old age kind of a tool. And we're just going towards the modern ways of working. And that's where Power BI came in. So Power BI was kind of a modern BI tool that we have. And we have just come out of this SSRS world, and we are just looking into Power BI as a modern BI tool. So this was a suite of products offered by Microsoft in order to handle the data better. So integration services was an ETL tool, okay, extraction, transformation, and loading of your data from one source to another. And then we would go and start reporting.
Yeah.
Yes, based on that and all of that. Yes, this was a suite of products given by Microsoft initially. Yes.
But there is no specific file format, something. I mean,
Not here, nothing here. No, we don't have a specific file. You cannot open the data and look at it. That's how I
queue
would say.
structure, something like that inside that, you know, for data manipulation, something like that.
No, we will
Yes.
do everything here. We will not go into any other environment. You will do everything inside Power BI environment, and the backend part will be taken care by this tool. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Yes.
No queue structure, something like that.
No,
inside the-
no, no, nothing inside this particular tool. The cubes are all here in the SSAS part, but not inside Power BI. No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let
May I
me
know
just
the
show you.
day-to-day process?
I'm sorry, say that again. Come back again.
Day-to-day process in the working.
You're asking about how would a day-to-day job would look like for a Power BI developer? Okay,
Yeah.
so a day-to-day job would be like this. Okay, so you would be gathering the requirements, okay, from your probably your business analyst or your client or customer, whoever is giving you this. And the requirements can be documented. And I have also seen people, just doing things on a call and then getting those requirements approved through an email. That's how it's going to come up. And once you have this requirement, you'll start working on your report. So you'll understand, okay, where is the data? Where are those informations coming from? The columns and other details coming from. So you'll just start exploring that information. And then what you can do is you can just start building your report. You can just kind of have those reports built. And remember, this is not a project, or this is not going to be a project where you just do something and it's all done and it's all approved, and that's it. That's kind of a concrete thing that you have. The way a BI team works and a way a data visualization team works is, when you get a requirement, you'll be coming up with your own reports, you'll be adding your own visuals, you'll be trying to showcase and bring those insights out in a certain fashion. Okay, now you'll get all the corrections that you have from your client. Okay, you'll just go ahead and review that with your client, you'll get some corrections, you'll start working on that particular detail again. And during that course of correction, you'll have another report coming in, you may want to build it. So that's how things work. It's all like an ongoing process, it's never ending process. You just have to start off with one thing and it just goes on. That's how things work, and that's the day-to-day life of a Power BI developer. Yes.
Hi. Thank you.
As a cloud engineer, so how this Power BI sessions will be helpful to my career?
Okay, what do you do? And may I know the reason why you're looking for Power BI desktop or Power BI course? Let me know.
One example which I see, like cost saving report, somebody people showing it in the Power BI.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we have any other advantages by learning the Power BI?
Okay, I'm not fully understanding your question. So you're getting a Power BI report from someone else and you're asking what else you can do with that. Is it so?
So if I join this Power BI course, add an advantage to my career.
Yeah, so for that, I need to understand, what are you doing right now? May I know that? Because I can tell you whether this is going to help you or not. What are you working on as of now?
Cloud engineers working into the Azure, all the deployments, BAU, and Azure DevOps CI/CD pipelines.
Okay, that's good. And since you have that Azure knowledge, what I would say is Power BI is going to be definitely another add-on and a kind of a feather in your cap for your resume, for sure. That's one. And see, what I've told from the very beginning here is we have Power BI, SQL, and Excel. These are the only three tools that you need, and people can make another like a complete different career altogether with just these three tools. You don't have to learn too many tools, and that's definitely going to have a very good advantage if you have all the other Microsoft based technologies already in your resume. So if you're talking about Azure, if you're talking about anything else where you have worked on data, integration of data, ETL pipelines and all of that, Power BI is again going to be, something based on that. It's going to use those essence and bring those details out. So yes, it's going to be definitely helpful. And when you have, like I said, those different technologies, you will be able to go ahead and crack those interviews, or kind of, get through those interviews very easily, because that's what people are looking for. People are looking for jack of all trades today, and they want to see a lot of technologies in their resume and a lot of exposure to these, fancy things that we have on cloud as well as on different things. So yes, it's going to be very easy, and it's definitely going to help you for sure. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to really even have those different technologies. Just Power BI, SQL, and Excel should do, and that's what I have been stressing so far. So yes, that kind of also goes well for this question. Yes. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah.
One question is, how many
Mhm.
projects we are going to cover in this course, and will that
Yeah.
helpful for us, like people who are switching from non-IT to IT with the experience of 4+ years?
Yes, that's definitely going to help for sure. And like I said, I'll just bring up this slide one more time here. So not this one, just give me 1 second. Yeah. So what we will be doing is, we will be connecting to our data set. We'll be working on some transformation stuff, because like I said, the data is not going to be clean. Okay. So we'll just be working on that. We'll do a data modeling, proficiency of tax, and all of that is going to be done. We will go ahead and publish this to the Power BI service. And that's how this codes is all set up. So when you go ahead and work on the projects, at the end of it, I would say there are 4 projects. Okay. Two of them, I'll assist you to go ahead and build how those different projects are going to be. I'll just go ahead and assist you with that. The rest of the two, I'll just be evaluating your projects. You'll have to go ahead and build that, and I'll be evaluating your projects. Okay. So what I'm telling you here is we will be applying all of these skills in that particular project. And no matter if you're from an IT background or non-IT background, this tool, we are going to learn it from scratch. So it doesn't really matter from which background you're coming from. It's going to be very easy and super easy for you to learn this particular tool for sure. Okay. So the project is going to be using all of these skills that we have already learned. Okay. So right from connecting to your data set, modeling the data, DAX expressions that you go and write, transforming your data, publishing a report, and sharing and collaborating with your users. All of that will be covered again in the project. So we will be doing an end-to-end project. It's just not going to be a simple, small projects that we do. No, we are going to do an end-to-end project, and that project will have all of this techniques covered for sure. So you'll be learning a lot, and that's what I'm guaranteeing you on that one. Okay. Yes. Any questions, anyone?
Yeah,
Yes.
hi.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
hi,
Yeah,
this is Shriyam. Sorry.
Yeah,
So,
Shrina.
I,
Soundarya, I'll just give you the
I,
chance next. Yeah. Okay.
I just joined in middle of the call.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, I am working currently on Excel things. I used to make reports using Excel,
Mm-hmm.
and then we used to present in using for PPT things.
Okay.
So how Power BI will help me to switch the job and career wise, how it is
Yeah.
helpful to me.
Right. So I have been talking about that at the very beginning. So Excel, an extensive Excel knowledge plus Power BI is a good, nice combination. All right. But
Okay.
what I was also mentioning was we have to also look into some sort of an SQL based, knowledge. And we have to eventually learn that for sure, because all the industry today, they're not using just Excel. There may be some roles and some very specific need for Excel, but they are not really using Excel as a data
Yes.
source. Okay, so they are using SQL servers and some other cloud-based, technology. So we need to go ahead and get our knowledge updated to that. So that's the only thing. So you'll have to eventually learn SQL, but SQL plus Power BI itself is a good combination. And we have just kind of, with our participants here, I've just debated saying that it's going to be helping you with some basic and an intermediate job, but that's how you want to land onto a Power BI job. And then you can kind of, go on from there and start learning SQL as well parallelly. That's what I would say. Yes.
I mean, how many years of experience if I put
It
in the
doesn't
resume?
matter if you can just learn Power BI, master this. I would say 40, 50 days is more than enough for you to master this tool. And if you can crack the interview, the experience doesn't matter. It's just about your knowledge and your idea and your, way
I
to
mean,
go and work with
yeah.
it. Yeah,
So if
that's
I
what is
crack the interview, how many years should I put in on my resume?
for Power BI, you're asking?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you can just say there was like 1 year overlap. Last 1 year, you can say you have Power BI knowledge. That's more than enough. And you
Yeah.
can get a good package based on that as well. Yes. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. I'll just give one more participants. She was just talking. Soundarya, was that you? Just if you don't mind, please. Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, as we know, DAX is a major component of Power BI. So, how in depth do you cover the functionalities of DAX?
Yeah, so DAX, what we will do is, we will start off with some basic understanding. We'll understand how to create columns, how to create a measure, what's the difference between a column and a measure, and why we should always go for a measure. That's what we will go and do. And the third ways of working with DAX would be to create tables. All right, so that's again something that I'll be covering. So we'll go through a lot of aggregation functions, sum, min, max, all of that. We'll go through some X functions like sum X, min X, max X, all of those different functions. And then we'll talk about the logical functions, if clause, and then switch statements and all of that. That's coming up. We'll talk about some information function. We'll just go and find out whether something is a numeric value, integer, or something like that. We'll just go talk about that. And most importantly, once I go ahead and create that table using DAX, we'll build a calendar table, we'll build a date table, and then we will also talk about the time intelligence function. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give you a very good, I would say around 6 to 9 hours of DAX based working. That's what we will go and you do. And that's going to give you a good, nice, solid foundation. I'm talking about foundation here. And DAX is going to have definitely a kind of a steep learning curve. Okay, so you'll have to go and learn that for sure. And you'll have to put in some efforts and practice. So the foundation that I'm talking about is going to be good enough for you to have an exposure of a variety of different functions and operators and all of that. But you have to go and work on top of it to add more and more functions to your list. That's what I would say. So that's how I'm looking at it. And if you want to add, or if you want to have a lot of things added to this, we can certainly discuss that and go from there in our sessions. Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, please.
So I do
Yeah.
have one query. Like, I want to become a business analyst. Like, on this tool, like, how much is need to help me out for the learning Power BI? Like, what I
Yeah.
need to learn? Like,
Right.
I
So
do
what
have
I'm
several
talking
degrees. Like, at the moment, I'm doing business analytics in the USA. Before that, I went to the UK. Like, I did MSc International Business Management. Before that, I do have MBA from India. So I don't have any technical knowledge, honestly. So I want to, build some technical skills and, like certifications. So I'm competitive marketing in the USA. So that's why I need to be more stronger, So lots of competition here as well. So
Yes, so I understand. And we just touched base on this topic as well initially. So what I'm saying here is when you talk about business analyst, the role there would be more towards getting the business requirements and, kind of talking to your development team to go and do that. So that's what is the main focus. But yes, to some extent, you may require knowledge on Power BI to go and work on it. But I would say it's more like 20-30% of what you do with Power BI, that's what is going to come up. So it's going to be a great ad. That's what I would say. But, otherwise, it depends on how much you're working on Power BI in your organization to get this done. So it's definitely going to be a good, nice addition to your role as well. And in order to talk from a technical standpoint, it is not too much technical. Okay, this tool is not going to be too hard or too much technical for you. If you have written, like I said, and I'm just repeating whatever we have just covered so far. If you have just gone ahead and written some Excel formulas, that's our DAX. That's what we are talking about. And everything here is going to be just drag and drop. So you click on this particular visual, it gets added here. So if you have the data, you drag and drop it and you finish it off. That's how we work on it. So you don't have to stress much. It's going to be a good, nice addition to your role as well. That's what I would say. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and what I need to learn, like for the business analyst, like except the Power BI, like out of the box, like what kind of skills I need to have, like become a business analyst and
Yes.
become
So
a proper business analyst.
yeah, for a business analyst, I would say it's going to be more like the requirement gathering and sharing that to your developers. Okay, so a good, nice way to do this is if you can learn some documentation skills, that would really help. And if you can just learn some ways in which you can, yes, the Power BI tool, it would really be recommended if you want to put things in a visual format and then share it with someone. That's okay. But I would rather say more of soft skills plus documentation skills and team building kind of a thing. That's what we look for in a business analyst. But when you talk about data analyst, that's where I would say Power BI plays a vital role. So okay, so there are two things here. When I say business analyst, it's more of gathering the requirements for the business and sharing that or showcasing that to the developers. Okay, so in that you'll have to just go ahead and work on a lot of other soft skills and other things. But when you come to data analyst, that's where you will use these tools and technical stuff. And that's where you need to work with data and you have to kind of get yourself updated and upgraded on these tools. So that's how I would project and present this thing this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone else? Any questions? Or I'll just show you very quickly, we have just been talking about a lot of things. I'll just show you very quickly how we can connect to our data set, load it into Power BI, and then work on this thing. So let me just show you this, okay? So what I have here is a SQL Server environment. It's just lying locally in my machine. It's not connected anywhere on the server or cloud. It's just a local machine. So I'm just going to connect to that. And if I just go here, you can see that I have some sample databases. So let me go into one of these databases. I'll just go ahead and get into AdventureWorks 2019. Okay, let me just click on tables. And we'll focus on just loading one of these tables. Let me query this table here. And like I said, this is just a prerequisite and you don't have to even have it for sure. It is okay if you don't understand or know SQL. You should be able to manage that with some understanding on Excel. Okay. And though they are not a real mandatory thing to have, eventually you have to go and learn. That's what I'm saying. And that's why this is all necessary. Okay. All right. So I have a table here. This is called as a product table. We have some information on this product table here. So we'll just go ahead and have this loaded into Power BI. I'll show you how that works. Okay. So when I go back to this particular file, I'll just go ahead and say that my data lies in SQL Server, right? So this is what we have to go through. I'll go through a connector and this is going to take me to the respective database and we will be loading the data from there. Okay. So I'll just click on that and let's go ahead and grab our details here, the server name, the database name, and we'll just talk about the advanced option where I was mentioning that you may go ahead and put that SQL command or SQL command, and you can go with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab these details. So for the server name, I'll just go ahead and look for the server name. That's this one. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it here. The database name, though it's optional, I would kind of prefer you to go ahead and provide that information because that helps the tool to go ahead and narrow down its search, find the database directly and get to that. So I'll just go copy this AdventureWorks and I'll just paste it here. Okay. Now here is where you can go ahead and put your SQL statement. So if you're just building a SQL statement, if you have some joins there, if you have some other statements, kind of a group by and other things, you can very well go bring that in. So for this case, if you really want to see how this works, I can just move forward. It will list all the tables and you can choose one of the tables. But if you really want to see if you want to go and give this kind of, SQL statement. I'll just copy this entirely. Okay, I'm just going to copy this SQL statement entirely. I'll just paste it here. And that's how you can build it. You can write those joins and other things. You can even execute your store procedures from here if you wish. And that's how we can go ahead and load it into Power BI. So I'm just going to do that. I'll say, okay, so the query is already written. The details are given for Power BI to go connect to that. And what it is showcasing me is just the same table where we have this product ID, product name, product, name and all of that. And if you see the same thing here, it's just coming from your database. Yes, product name, product ID, name and product name, and so on and so forth. So all of that is coming from our SQL environment, and that's how we have it. So once you feel that the data is all looking good, you just go ahead and say load, and that gets loaded into Power BI, and that's how we have it. And we should be able to go ahead and just work with that particular detail in some time. So once that gets loaded, you can see that just came and sat onto the data pane here. I can expand this. I can just go ahead and have the list of columns coming in like this. I can right click. Let's go ahead and rename this. I'll just say that this is our product table. Yes, that's what we have. And the way you go ahead and work with your visualization is going to be very easy. So let's say, for example, I click on this visual here, click, that will add a template to our canvas. Okay. And let's say I want to count all the different products that I have. Okay. Let's take the product ID, drag and drop that into this particular visual. And what you'll get is you'll get the count of product ID. That's simple as that. Okay. And you can just build your details like this. And that's how easy it is to go and work with Power BI. And you can very well come up with these different details just by dragging and dropping things. You don't have to do much, but like I said, there are a lot of different things from a developer standpoint that you have to go and understand. So that's what we will cover in detail, in depth in our course. Okay. Any questions, anyone? So I'm just going to bring up this.
Hello.
Yeah, on the screen here. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ambrish.
Yes, Ambrish. Yes.
Sir, when we will go to make a measure, then what things we have to understand? How do we make a measure?
Yeah. So in order to create a measure, okay, I'll just give you a simple example. What you do is you right click on the table. You can go and say you want to create a measure. All right. Otherwise, you have this icon on top. You'll just get started with that. Now, measures are some aggregations that you have in your, formula. And measures are, I would say, more like a formula that you have. For example, I gave you this example just now. And let's say you have sales and you have profit column coming in from your, data source. And what you need to go ahead and compute is something called as profit percentage. Okay. And profit percentage is what you have. And the formula, if I were to give you, it's nothing but profit by sales. Okay. So what you have to do here is you have these columns coming in and you just have to kind of use those columns and you are building a formula. You're building a calculation here. That's what we do in measures. And one thing that you have to understand is measures are going to be dynamic ways of working. They are just going to sit as a formula. And whenever you start using it, let's say I start using this in a visual like this, that's when it gets activated, and that's when you go and have this formula get activated and give you the results. So it's going to be much dynamic, and only when you use it inside a visual, it will start computing the details and it will give you the results. And one more thing that you have to understand is it's always an aggregation that is there in place for a measure. So like I said, it's a derivation, it's a calculation, and it's more of an aggregation with which you are setting up some formula and just you're keeping it here. Let me show you how this works. Okay. So let's say I want to count the distinct product IDs. Okay. We are just doing a count here. You can always go ahead and change this as well. But let's say I want to go do a distinct product ID count. Okay. So I can right click. I'll just do a measure. And what that does is that adds a formula bar here on top. Okay. I'm just going to increase the font size there. And let me just show you this. And this measure, let's go ahead and give it a name called as distinct count of product ID. Okay, something like that. And you can start using a function called as, distinct count. That's going to help you to count those values, distinct count of those values. And all you have to do is just give it a column from where you want to bring in the distinct count. So we have a product ID column. So I can just go and input that. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so this count is nothing but an aggregate function. Your measures are always to be aggregated. Now, if I were to just start off with product ID directly, look at this. If I were to just find the product ID directly, the product ID column will not be listed for me because that's not getting aggregated. The formula is not getting aggregated, or you don't have any aggregation in your, calculation here. So what we want to understand is measure, though it's a calculation, it has to be an aggregation. You have to say whether it's an average, min, max, count, standard deviation, sum of certain things. What are you doing with your formula? You have to apply that calculation and aggregation for sure. Okay. So product ID will not be available to you in this list forever because you're not starting with an aggregate function. So if you want to just say distinct count of, product ID, that's when you'll be able to go find out that product ID. So these are small things that you should know and you should understand. And once you have all of that, you can go and build this formula. So we have got our measure created here. The measures will have calculator symbol. That's how we have it. And that's how things are set up. Okay. You can start using this in any visualization. For example, let's say I go do this on a bar chart and I want to understand, okay, let's do this. Say, for example, I don't know, let's do a color wise, uh, distinct count of products. You can do that. So you can see that the black has so much of, distinct products. And this is how you can do it. So you can just put it in a bar chart like this. You can also put it in a, card visual, like I mentioned. So the count is almost going to be the same because we do have just distinct count of products. So no matter where you're placing this particular calculation, whether it's a visual or whether it's going to be the card visual or any sort of a visual which is going to summarize or aggregate, you will have that formula work against the way you are showcasing the details in your visual, and that's how things work. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you have to consider, and like I said, I've just given you a glimpse of it, but we'll talk about it in detail as we progress in our course. Okay, yeah. All right. So I'm just having details of the course here. Just, feel free to go ahead and get started with this course. If you want to enroll, you can use these different details to pay and get started. Or you can also go ahead and go to the website itself, rajinformatica.com, and look for the details in our course, Power BI course. Go through that particular details in our course, and you can enroll from here as well. So feel free to talk to our representatives, and if you have a contact details, please go and call that number, ask queries, and talk to our representatives, clarify any questions that you have. If you want to reach out to me and understand whether Power BI is going to be easy for you to go through and should you take that route or not, yeah, feel free to do so. Just let them know and we can arrange a call and we can go through that. Okay. So yes, that's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I'm okay to take up the questions. I just gave you a glimpse of the details here, and we can just take up any questions that you have. Please do let me know. Okay, our course starts on 11th. Okay, our batch starts on 11th. We would have, a morning batch, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. That's IST. We would also have batch in the evening, Indian time. We'll just let you know the timings. Okay, so if you're not able to attend the morning session, you can very well go and attend the evening session as well. The course fee for this is going to be 15,000. You can just go and enroll it through our websites, or feel free to go and make a payment towards this GPay number, and you can just kind of contact us and we can enroll you on that. So like I said, we would be giving you a bonus here, which is going to be Oracle SQL. So you'll be learning SQL plus everything that I just talked about on Power BI. That's what we are going to go and learn. And like I said, we will be starting our batch on 11th of October. Okay, that's what we have. You have these numbers on the screen here. Just go ahead and make a note of it, and you can very well go ahead and talk to us, contact us, and understand if this is really a good, nice tool for you to go for, and you can just take those different details. Again, like I said, I'm just the experienced faculty here, so I have more than 14 years of experience. I have been working on Power BI since its inception. Okay, the very first time when it was a baby in the market, I've been working on that since then. It's been like 8.5 years since I've just touched Power BI, and I've been working in that for every single day. All right. And so, yes, that's all there. And we have been just talking about all of these different details. We have 4 different projects coming in. you may want to go ahead and, enroll for this, just because we are doing a lot of hands-on, and every single module will have a lot of assignments given to you, a lot of hands-on given to you. So you'll be learning this, based on, in a practical sense, and not just on a theoretical aspects. Okay. So that's what we have. So it's an extensive course. It's a comprehensive course. So I would recommend you to go and, inquire and enroll for that for sure. Okay. I am open to taking questions. Just let me know if you have any questions and we can do that. Yeah. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Okay, so that's a 30 to 35 days course. So I would say it should be completed within a month. Okay. Not more than a month. I would say 40, 45 days max. That's what. Yeah. What about creating dashboard? Yes, dashboard is all about, when you go and publish your report to Power BI service, that's the server where you publish it. So dashboard concepts comes in the server. We will definitely look into it. There is a difference between a report and a dashboard. So I want you to understand that difference. We'll certainly touch base on dashboards and we'll understand the difference as well. Yes. Okay, someone unmuted. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you scroll it actually, the course content actually once more?
Yeah,
there is something called the Fabric overview, right? What we are going to
Yes.
do that with Microsoft Fabric overview.
So see, Fabric is all about, it's just more of an umbrella term. And what Power BI or what Microsoft is doing is they are trying to bring a lot of tools under this Fabric. And they have a certain environment wherein you have the data tools coming in. Power BI is being one of the tools, part of this Fabric. I'm just going to give you an overview of that Fabric environment. That's it. We're not going to deep dive into it. The entire course is on Power BI, but I'll give you a glimpse and overview of Fabric. It is an integration of a lot of different tools. So we'll just understand what that is, because Power BI today is sitting on a Fabric, Microsoft Fabric, and that's something that we want to understand that as well. So we'll just understand the high level information on Fabric. Yes.
That is on cloud side, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's on the cloud side. Correct. Okay, we have a question on the chat. How is openings in job market? Yes, there's a huge demand for Power BI in the market. So and the demand has not subsided at all. Okay, so we have demands every single month. There are a lot of openings coming up and a lot of people migrating from different tools to Power BI. So you have a lot of opportunities and openings, not only in India, across the globe. We have a huge demand for Power BI. So it's a good thing. And like I said, I just showed you the Gartner's quadrants. You're learning one of the best tools in the market right now. That's the topmost tool that we have right now in the market. And yes, it has amazing and most in demand, skills is what we are learning. So yes, that should be the way you want to understand this. Okay. Yeah. Any questions?
Do you have any providing an internship or any certificates?
You will get a certification from Raj Cloud Technologies, okay, for completing this. But I would say you can go and take, after this course, you can very well go and take PL 300 from Microsoft, okay? So that's going to be an added advantage for you. And this course is all aligned, with that particular exam in mind. So I would say you should be able to go take that. But I would recommend you to practice this very well, at least practice this at least 30 days or 45 days after our session, and then go take that exam, because the questions are going to be more like, scenario based questions, and you need to understand things practically. So you want to understand that. So yes, I would say there is just a course completion certificate here, and you will be able to go and take up the PL 300 exam from Microsoft after completing this course. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Anything else, anyone? All right. If not, I think we are good here. Just let us know. Please do reach out to us if you have any questions. If you want to talk to me, you can route your queries through the team or the support team here. just do that and get your answers cleared just before you enroll so that, we are all in sync. That's what I want you to understand. Yes. Thank you so much. And we'll see soon in our main session. Yes. On 11th. Yeah. Thank you so much. Your course is enough to do the job? I would say yes. Yes, I will be giving you all the guidance. I'll be supporting you with all the different details that you need. So yes, this course is more than enough for you to get into a job and work on that job effectively. Okay, you don't have to do anything else. This is going to be a full end-to-end course on Power BI, and this should be more than enough. Okay, yes. All right. Okay, thanks everyone for your time and patience. All right, so you can route your queries, like I said, through the numbers on the website.
Sir, your WhatsApp number, please.
Yes, you can do that. I would recommend you to note down this. I'll just give you this number here as of now. Okay, so you just make a note of this, take a snapshot of this or a photo of this. You can do that. You can just
It's not visible actually for me on mobile. Can you
okay.
please tell?
I've just pinged you that. And I'll just ping you separately as well. Yeah.
Pin it again, sir.
Yes, I've just done that. Just have a look. Just pinged you separately as well. Yeah.
9880.
Yes. Any other questions, anyone?
9880 490
148. Yes.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes,
Amber.
please. Yes.
Raj Cloud.
Yeah, someone was speaking. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yes, yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, yes. Basically, my major question for the business analytics, and thank you so much, first of all. You are giving me a become a business analyst course, and I'm very excited. I'm very amazing. Your guideline is so good. And I have a question: how to become a business analyst with no experience?
Sorry, say that again. Last part. How? What was your question?
This is my question. How to become a business analyst with no experience?
With no experience, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. No, like I said, I've just touched based on that initially. So you just have to be good with your, so the business analyst is all going to be about taking the requirements and sharing it with your teams. Okay. So if you're good at talking to people, if you're good at gathering the requirements and, kind of passing that to your team, that should be more than enough. And like I said, you have to have the, team building skills, soft skills, plus the documentation skills. So if you have all that, you should be able to go ahead and very easily be a business analyst. So it's all about passing one information exactly like that to your development team. So you just have to kind of gather the requirement properly and just go ahead and share that with your development team. So if you can do that effectively, that's more than enough. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, one more question.
Yes.
I don't have any prior knowledge of Excel and SQL.
Mm-hmm.
So can I do this course?
Yes, you can do this course. And like I said, SQL knowledge, it's just, I would say an optional requirement here. Excel,
Because
if you have.
I'm into hardware field and
Okay.
I want to switch my field in Power BI.
Yes. So see, I'll tell you, I have helped people from a lot of different backgrounds. From mechanical background, I have a lot of students getting placed in IT jobs. Okay. So Excel, at least some basic knowledge. And if you can open the Excel, do some formatting, some formulas that you can write, that's more than enough. You don't have to really do this. And except Excel and also SQL, learning Power BI itself from the scratch. And if you can just kind of master Power BI, that should be more than enough. So it is not a prerequisite for sure, but I've been stressing this. You have to definitely learn that as you progress through your career. Okay. So that will become mandatory sometime later. But for now, for a good start, Power BI is more than enough. Yes, you can get started with this. Will you help us in the placement? So we will guide you through the different opportunities that you have. Okay, we do not guarantee the placement. We'll guide you through those placement activities. Yes, you can reach out to us if you want to understand, and we can give you the references and all of that, but we do not guarantee the placement. Okay, so that's something that I want to be clear, just so that I do not have or create a false hope for you. Okay. How many years of experience required in Power BI? You don't have to have any experience. We have a lot of openings for freshers as well, and people doing a lot of certifications. They are getting placed easily, so you should be able to just do that very easily. Now, if you have a different background altogether, like someone said, they are from a different background and they want to get into it, I would say you can showcase an overlap of 1 year. Yes. So, for example, last 6 months to 1 year, you were working on Power BI, you can showcase something like that. And I would say, if you have good enough knowledge in Power BI after the training, you should be able to go ahead and proceed with that. That's what I would say. Nothing more than that. Okay. Yeah.
Do you provide
Hello, Ambesh.
the PDF soft copy of the notes?
We will provide all the slides, the files, and the recordings that we do in our session. You'll be given all of these different accesses for the entire lifetime. So all of that will be available for you for the entire lifetime. You can use that or open that and view that anytime you want. Yes.
No study material?
Everything together. That's what I'm saying. Study materials and the PPTs that I use, whatever I cover in the class, the working session files, the recordings, everything will be given to you. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Clear.
Yes,
Ambesh,
please.
I have a question. My question is, what skills are required for a business analytic?
Business and IT, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Is it, I mean, I'm not sure if it is relevant to Power BI or not. I've given you that answer, right? Business analyst. Are you asking about that again, or is it business and IT? I was not clear on that.
Okay, sure. And next question, what qualification do I need to be a business analyst?
Yeah, so qualification is like, you should have just, I mean, even a fresher can go ahead and have a business analyst role, it's just all about the soft skills that I talked about. So nothing much. So you just have to kind of, go through that. So I would say the main requirement is you need to understand the technicalities. If you are talking about, gathering the requirement, you should not just go ahead and, make A as B and then project it to your developers. So you have to kind of replicate things as is. That's what I would recommend. So if you are good at gathering that, understanding those technicalities, and just pass it on to your team, that's more than enough. So listening skills, making sure that you're not kind of, making your own requirement out of something else that is being conveyed to you. Those are the main aspects of it. Okay. And plus some tools that is going to help you analyze and work with that data. That's what we would need for a business analyst. Any questions?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I don't see any questions coming up. So we'll just wrap it up here. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have, like I said, any queries, please do WhatsApp or, enroll through these different numbers. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. See you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.